Hey Internet, Eric here. Shark Week continues on the channel. If you don't know what that is, I'm basically trying to celebrate Shark Week. I have a theme going on. I'm going to try to upload one shark movie related video a day up until the live stream Saturday night. I've just finished if you've been watching along, I just finished the rest of the Jaws franchise 2 through 4. And in my community post, I mentioned, when I was that wonderful picture of Vern Troyer dressed as a shark. I mentioned that I was going to also not just talk some Jaws movies that I hadn't seen. I was also going to maybe throw in Deep Blue Sea because I thought it would have been fun. I did get a request for 47 Meters Down from Mike at an American Werewolf in New Jersey. I'm going to do that one. And then I also said I might do a Wildeye film. I knew Wildeye had done a lot of shark movies, and my friends in the Deadly Venoms enjoyed my Wildeye review of the Jurassic Dead. They enjoyed just how I delivered that and what I thought, even though it was pretty negative. And I put Knight on the spot. Knight, well, he put me on the spot asking if I would do more. And I said if more people actually said that they wanted me to discuss more in Wildeye, I would. People did say they wanted to, so he's not 100% to blame for this, though. Patrick from Have Cheetah Will View. You know what? Patrick, I am forever in your debt. First off, Patrick's the only one that actually said anything in the community post. And then that's precedence over any type of other review. Patrick, I'm forever in your debt for you allowing me to help interview Adam Marcus on your channel. You know how much I love Jason Goes to Hell. I had a blast meeting Adam, talking to Adam. It was a great interview. But now I can't stand you at the moment because I didn't know what this request was going to be. I didn't know if it was a genuine you like it type of thing because you like your trash cinema too, like I do. Or I didn't know if it was going to be a troll. Obviously, since I think Patrick is now a piece of shit right now because he recommended or requested that I talk a Ouija Shark. Now, this came out in 2020, 2020, from Wildeye. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I discuss plot spoilers, specific scenes, what have you. First off, I'm going to get this out of the way, the elephant in the room. There are a lot of fans of Wildeye Productions, or Wildeye Releasing, whatever it is. And I myself am guilty of judging a book by its cover. I've said it before many times. I've said it, I believe, in my Baby Frankenstein video. I judged Wildeye movies, and Wildeye is just a distributing company, you know what I mean? It's kind of like Troma. They distribute independent horror, independent movies, which is a good thing. I judged them, looking at the trailers because, in my opinion, a lot of trailers for the movies were crap. But then again, I thought to myself, you can't necessarily judge a movie by a trailer. It might not make you want to see the movie, but it doesn't mean the movie's going to be garbage because I thought the trailers to Clerks 2 looked like fucking bullshit. I ended up seeing Clerks 2, and it's one of my favorite Kevin Smith films. So I'll bite the bullet there and eat the crow, and I've done that before. But in my Wildeye reviews or whatever you say, so far they're 1 for 3. Previous, to this video. I love Baby Frankenstein. I've mentioned that here. I've mentioned it on Twitter. I mentioned it in other people's live streams. I loved that movie. I mentioned it on other people's reviews of it. I'm still looking for a DVD version of Baby Frankenstein to have in my collection. I hated Shark Exorcist. I did not enjoy the Jurassic Dead. So this could have gone either way. And with the Ouija Shark, you know what it is. I'll get to the plot in a second. You have to have a certain mind frame going into it. It's like going into Howard the Duck. Pro Wrestlers versus Zombies. You have to dumb it down a little bit, knowing you're going to be getting into a really stupid movie. You could have fun. I did not have 1 ounce of fun with this fucking movie. And I'll tell you why. First off, the plot. I'm going to need one of these. I've never had one of these before. PBR always helps. And it's coffee. I don't know how much coffee or hard coffee is in this. But I'm going to need the coffee because this movie put me to sleep for most of it. That's actually really good. That's dangerous. All right. Because you can't taste it. Or the alcohol. Anyways, let's get to a Ouija Shark. The plot of this is a girl is splashing in the water at the beach, and a Ouija board bumps into her foot. She takes it home, or she takes it to the house where her and a bunch of other friends are just having a little get together for the weekend. They play with the Ouija board, and they conjure up the spirit of a great white shark. Or, I don't know, I guess it's a great white shark. They conjure up the spirit of a shark, and it flies through the air and attacks them. That's it. Super simple, very stupid, could be fun. Not at all. First off, let's talk about the acting. Of course, I knew the acting would be horrible. I was not expecting it. So, there's no one, I mean, they're garbage. The acting's garbage. But there's one person that really needs to be talked about, and that's the guy who plays the father of the lead. The lead girl, she's redheaded and piercings in her face. Her father, his acting is so fucking bad. He looks like he's reading cue cards the whole time. Like when he's staring off into space, like he's talking on his phone, and he wouldn't be looking at the camera. You know what I mean? When talking. But he looks like, or at least his delivery is just so bad. He looks like he's reading off of cue cards anytime he's on screen. He's awful. Like, I can't make fun of him and have fun. He is just like, he sucks the air out of the room. How awful he is, and especially as at his death scene. But that's it. Everyone else is just there to be victims or to to just be really, really lame. But he stands out as that fucking sore thumb that you hit with the fucking hammer trying to put a nail in a piece of wood. He is god fucking awful. The other characters, like I said, they're just there to be victims. There's one of the friends that stands out, and she is the quirky, fun one, nerd, I guess you would say. I'm just thinking she's a nerd because she has glasses on. You know what I mean? When they show up at the house, she's trying to be funny. We all have that friend that thinks they're funny and they're just fucking annoying. Bless their hearts, they don't realize it. And she's always making these jokes about how the pool is calling me. Oh no, it's dragging me away. I'd love to stay, but the pool is calling me. She's annoying. You know what I mean? And then they give her nothing to do because she doesn't get in the pool. What happens is she's walking towards the pool, and she sees the neighbor, and of course she thinks he's attractive. And he's washing his car. And this movie has so much fucking padding. I'll get to the beginning first, but let's talk about Glasses Girl. She is looking and staring at this dude like a creeper. And it's just, she finds him attractive. But there's so much padding. The camera is on her, oogling this dude for I don't know how long. I swear. I'm surprised her hands didn't go down her pants. You know what I mean? Because of how long we were staring at her, fawning over this dude. Just spraying his fucking car with water. Eventually, she says, hey, need some help? Or some bullshit like that. Sure, why not? And then, they have their little chat. Then we have some other stuff happen. And then we cut back to her. She is washing the car with her shirt on. My wife pointed this out. Suddenly it cuts to her washing the car with her shirt on, and suddenly she's just in her bra. It's a quick cut like that. We don't see her take her shirt off or nothing. My wife pointed out, she's like, where did her shirt go? And then this is a long, drawn-out sequence, probably 3-4 minutes. This movie's only like an hour and 10 minutes, all right? It's a long, drawn-out sequence of just her and this fucking dude washing a car. There's a 3 to 4 minute sequence of two people washing a fucking car. They have the whole, she's soaping up the windshield. You see it through there. You're inside the car itself, and we see her breasts in the bra and everything. And then she's cleaning it off. They're spraying each other. Ooh, water fight, that type of bullshit. She has the hose, with the sprayer, and she literally sprays it behind her. And she's trying to act all sexy, and it's slow motion, and she's spraying the dude and chasing him with the water. Ooh, I'm gonna get you, that type of bullshit. And then we don't see her again until the fucking end of the movie when she gets eaten. Jesus fucking Christ. Speaking of padding, the first 7 minutes of this, we are following the main girl. Don't know her name. I'm just going to call her Piercings. We are following Piercings because, like I said, she's got facial piercings. She's driving around. She finds a beach. But we're following her for 7 minutes, trying to find the beach. She gets out of her car, and she sees the way to the beach. You got to walk down these stone steps, to get to the beach at the bottom. And literally, we're following her for at least 2 to 3 minutes, walking down these steps to get to the beach. We're following her, walking to get to the beach. She finally gets there. She lays a towel down. She gets in her bathing suit. She goes, well, she lays down. She sunbathes. Again, padding. She finally gets in the water, plugs her nose, splashes down, has some fun, I guess, padding. And then something hits her in the foot. And that's where she finds the Ouija board. Pulls it out, puts it down. She's going to take it with it. And then suddenly, once she gets a phone call, I already know I don't like this chick. She answers her phone, "What do you want?" And she's bitchy with her friends because they are already at the house. Well, maybe if you didn't go to the beach, you wouldn't have been left behind. Anyways, the writing is not the best in this. So she gets dressed, takes the Ouija board, and goes to the house. And then, more padding, we have an entire sequence of just them sitting in their chairs under the sun or splashing in the water. 3-4 minutes of just this. Like literally splashing each other in the water. Ha ha, water fight, that type of stuff. We got, we got the camera staring on the one girl trying to get in the inflatable chair and float away. It's just bullshit. It's boring. That's the problem. If this movie was at least entertaining, I could overlook how fucking stupid something was. I like a lot of garbage. I fucking love Pumpkinhead 2. Because that movie is never boring. It's a piece of crap movie, but it's never boring. The cardinal sin of any type of movie is to bore your audience. Now let's finally get to the part with the Ouija board. So it's a boring 20 minutes. All right, fine. I'm already yelling at the screen. They finally get to the... Well, first off, let me tell you this. Once they got out of the pool, I turned the fucking movie off. The first time I watched it. I turned it off, and I don't know if I went to bed or watched Married with Children or something. I needed to get away. It was that awful. I didn't finish the movie until today, this morning, nearly 2.5 days later. Let's get to the part where they finally conjure up this shark. She lays down the Ouija board. She finds that little disc. The thing you put your hands on? She has one of those, miraculously. That didn't wash up on the shore with her. Don't know where it came from. Anyways, again, overlook some of the stupid stuff. And they're conjuring the spirit, who are you, blah, blah, blah. Spells out hungry. Where are you from? Hungry. Now there's your opportunity to make a stupid lame joke. Oh, you're from Hungary? I've always wanted to go there. No, they don't even do that. Second, it's a shark that they're conjuring up. How the fuck does a shark know how to speak English? Stupid. Anyways, so they conjure up the spirit. She starts to see visions of the shark. They do have a fun, goofy, point at the screen and laugh at this effect of the shark, like the spirit coming out of the board and going rah type of thing. That was a chuckle moment. I'll give the movie that. And then the shark ghost thing, the Ouija shark, shows up. It looks awful, but it's one of those effects that I can laugh at because the way it looks. It looks awful, but I do like the color of it, the smoky whiteness of it. So I'll give it that. I don't know if it was a puppet. I don't know if it was just a bad, given and put into like a CGI effect or just, Windows 95, Media Maker or whatever it was. It looked awful, but I could laugh at it. And that's when I really started to hate this movie. Because, first off, this shark never attacks anybody in the water. There's a scene where someone has their feet in the water. There's a scene where someone is bending over a pool, but the shark never kills anybody in the water. It's always flying through the fucking air, attacking people on land. I get the irony, but it's still fucking stupid because of how it's done. First off, we do get camera shots of the shark's face, like going like this, and it's just going, bah, 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 you know what I mean? As it's chasing the people. And it's got this weird black hole effect behind it. It's chasing 2 fucking people in the woods. Okay, here's my problem. You're being chased by a fucking ghost shark, a Ouija shark, and these people aren't running. They're fucking jogging. They're jogging to get away from this goddamn ghost. And then one guy gets eaten, and literally, I know it's a budget of 50 cents. Lots of times the person just, the camera just goes, whoop, fades to black, and you hear noise. Whatever. When it eats the girl in the woods, at least they threw some blood on the tree and some organs or something. But that's what happens every time someone fucking gets eaten in this movie. It's always fade to black, Or they literally get Thanos blooped out of existence. There's one scene, first off, it was so stupid. You had the stoner chick, why do you have the munchies? Well, why do you think? I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, we get it. Okay, that's how they explain the chick's a stoner. She's smoking some weed. She's high. She puts her feet in the water. She looks. She sees the shark. She thinks it's part of her, hallucination or whatever it is, because she's high. Offers the shark the joint, and it just eats her. Well, everyone's looking for her, and they see a really bad prop of a hand floating through the water. This girl tries and reaches for the hand. Shark goes and gets her, literally, whoop, and she literally blinks out of existence. The cut is that bad. That's just dumb. Now, let's get to the rest of the movie. Eventually, Piercings is the last one alive. She's back in the woods, running away from Ghost Shark. She meets up. Well, no, she doesn't meet up with the cop yet. She goes, and we know this is... Now she's becoming the badass, right? You know how I know? Because she's coming the badass, and even my wife fucking pointed it out. Because she puts on a goddamn leather jacket that she gets out of the trunk of her car. She puts on leather boots with studs. Then she gets a fucking shotgun. She gets a shotgun to fight a ghost. She shoots the bullets at a ghost. It's a fucking ghost. Bullets don't kill ghosts. Anyways, before that, she meets Senator Palpatine. What I mean by that is you have some weirdo in a robe walks up behind her, and they don't show his face, and he's talking in some weird type of echo. I'm the one who created the Ouija board and conquered the shark, and I'm in this shitty movie. You know what I mean? And he talks to her, and I don't know if he says you have to destroy the Ouija board to destroy the shark, because I think she asks him that, and he says, I don't know. But he, it's fucking bullshit. Anyways, and then he disappears. So then she meets a cop, and she's getting chased by the shark. We get more, point of view shots of, or camera shots of the ghost shark going after her. I should say a Ouija shark, because I know there's another movie called Ghost Shark. And it's chasing them, Luckily, they get in the cabin, and they shut the door. And the shark doesn't fucking go in after them because I guess doors are its one weakness. It's a ghost. Go through the wall and get him. Now, before I get to the ending, or how they defeat it, let's go back to good old Daddy Dearest here. Okay, when he's talking to her on the phone, he says, well, you know that our family has some ties to the occult. That's probably how the Ouija board was drawn to you. Okay, so he does some research. I was so fucking bored by this moment. Plus, at any time this fucker is on the screen, I don't want to watch. So I'm watching, and he is doing some research on the computer, and he's doing tarot cards and stuff like this. Padding. Eventually, he goes to like a fortune teller. The lady with the bandana and the crystal ball and stuff like this, and talks to her. To me, it reminded me of the fake lady, the fake fortune teller from Pee-wee's Big Adventure, but with less charisma. So she says some bullshit to him. I don't know what it was. I didn't care because, again, when this guy's on screen, I don't want to fucking listen. Then we get his death scene. And he gets blooped out of existence, with the Thanos snap. But he sees the shark. The shark attacks them. Or shark attacks him. I don't know what he's holding in his hands or if he's just going like this, screaming no. So he's like this. And then we literally have the shark going, bow, 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 from different points of view. CGI blood. It would have been funny if it wasn't for the fact that this fucker was awful. And then Thanos snap, bloop, he's gone. He's up in the heavens. Or he's at least in the clouds. And he fights the Ouija shark. This could be fun. Because, like with Leprechaun Back to the Hood, which I fucking love that movie. That one is so fucking stupid, but it's fun. Take, an example of that movie. Stupid premise, but is fun because of the acting, the characters, and how absurd it is. There's a scene where the two leads, they go to a fortune teller. They talk about the leprechaun and the gold and all this stuff. You find out she's really a witch. She really knows how to do this stuff. Leprechaun shows up, and they have a very brief fight. She's got her magic, the leprechaun's got his magic. She's throwing like Hadoukens at him, and he's doing it. It's fun and brief. We kind of get that here, but it's fucking not fun because of this guy. It's trying to attack him in the clouds, and he says something like, "I'm going to use my powers, my death powers," or some bullshit. He says, "I'm going to use my powers," because I guess now that he's dead, he's got powers. And they try to make him like Doctor Strange. You know how Doctor Strange goes like this, and he makes those rings or whatever they are in his hands that he can throw? He does that, but they look like fucking fidget spinners. And I don't know if the Ouija shark shoots something at him and he blocks it, and it bounces back to the shark and defeats it that way, and then he disappears. I don't know, because I was fucking gone by this time. I was gone a long time ago, but I was gone. Again, failed attempt because they had an actor who couldn't fucking act his way out of a paper bag that was, filled with dog shit and set on fire. Let's get to the ending. Well, let's get to the defeat first, because then we got the ending. All right. Piercings and a cop are inside a cabin. Again, Ghost Shark, Ouija Shark is locked out. Oh no, doors and windows can't, my one weakness. And she looks, I think she shoots at the shark a couple times, and then she looks at the Ouija board. And she says something like, "This is for my father." Those tropes are okay. This is for this person, kind of like Halloween Resurrection, when What's-Her-Face has the chainsaw. This is for this person, this is for that person, this is for me. She looks at the Ouija board and she says, "This is for my father." Shoots it, and it gets blooped out of existence. Okay, shark disappears. Lame, but at this point, I don't fucking care. So, everything's happy hunky-dory, right? Well, Palpatine's back, and he's in a house with another Ouija board, and I'm going to spoil the fucking ending. I don't fucking care. He picks up a phone, and he calls the White House. And then President Donald Trump picks it up. And listen, I give it credit because they tried to make fun of Trump because of the orange skin, the bad tan, and like the super white lips. And they painted this actor, like, we don't see his whole face. We see like from the nose down, because we focus on the white lips and the bad tan around, and the orange painted hands. I'll give him credit for that, because that was fun mockery. But the problem is, this actor who was trying to do a Donald Trump impression didn't even do a good Donald Trump impression. Like, I didn't like Alec Baldwin's Donald Trump impression because he just sucked, but at least he put in some effort. I don't know who the fuck they hired to be Donald Trump in this movie, but a person doesn't even sound like him, like in doing a bad impression. He's talking to Palpatine, and he says, how I think this one Ouija shark was defeated, but, this will destroy the whole eastern seaboard. We're going to send out more Ouija boards. And Trump says good, or some bullshit. And then we get the shadow of Trump just going, ha, 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 or some fucking bullshit. Movie fucking ends to the slowest credits in the world, because we still have to fill up an hour and 10 minutes of a runtime. Look, this movie sucked. I like a lot of movies that suck, that are bad, that are garbage. I couldn't have fun with this. That's the problem. I can overlook bad acting, I can overlook this and that, but when a movie is torturous to watch because of so many things I said, I'm going to say this right now. I'm happy if you enjoy this movie. I'm okay if you like a movie that's garbage like this. But you know what? I couldn't stand this movie. And that's what it is. It's a matter of opinion. It's the internet. Their opinions. Don't take them so serious. All right? Listen, I fucking hated this movie. It might be a little bit... Oh, wait, you know what? I will say this. There's one good thing. The movie ended, instead of the end, it said Finn. I'll give it that. And that's just, That's really scraping the bottom of the barrel, but I have to give credit where credit's due. But listen, this movie fucking sucked. Wildeye, you're now 1 for 4 with me. Now, people have said there are Wildeye movies I might enjoy. I hope to fucking find them. Because other than Baby Frankenstein, it's just boring, trash, garbage. This wasn't even so bad it's good. This wasn't even so bad it's fun for me. This was a chore. This was boring. I hated it. Me and Knight are now feuding. Patrick, you can go fuck yourself because you knew what I was getting into. But in the end, it's an opinion. If you don't agree with it, you don't have to. Enjoy the movie for the trash it is. Fucking hated it. Deal with it. Hopefully my next 2 films are good, or at least entertaining. This movie wasn't. That's all I've got to say. I hate you, Patrick. I hate you so much. Cheers.